Alright, hi guys, my name's Andrew, and this is going to be my baking item for NUTN 9204 for our baking assignment. I'm going to make an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, one time using sugar and another time using sweetener as a stevia as a substitute for sugar. So we're going to start out, we have all of our ingredients out already. We're going to start by combining our wet ingredients, which is going to consist of 1 egg, a quarter cup of butter that has been softened up a bit in the microwave just to make mixing a little bit easier. 6 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar, and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So once this is all in the bowl together, we'll take a spoon and we'll just mix it up until it's been all kind of dissolved down and nice and soft. So we've mixed that up, and now we're going to add in our dry ingredients, which is going to be the remaining 4 that are over here. We're going to start off with a 3/4 cup of oats, preferably rolled oats. Throw that into the bowl. 6 tablespoons of just regular all-purpose flour. Mix into it. This is a combination of a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in together. And then just to top it off, we're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of chocolate chunks or chocolate chips, whatever you prefer. And then we're going to mix this together. So now that we have our mixture done, we're going to simply kind of just take a bit of a heaping spoonful out, kind of just shape it into a ball, and then we're going to line it on a baking tray that I have back here. It has a silicone baking paper on it. You can use that or spray it with cooking spray, and then we would make as many cookies as I can get out of this batch, and then we would bake in an oven at 350 for 10 minutes. Alright, okay, so for the next batch we're going to basically do the same thing, but we'll be using stevia instead of sugar. So again, we'll start off with our wet ingredients. So again, just 1 whole egg into the bowl. Again, 1/4 cup of butter that's been softened up a bit in the microwave. Into it. So instead we have stevia instead of sugar. So here we're only going to use 2 tablespoons since it's said to be 3 times sweeter than regular sugar. so we want to use less to make sure we're not making it too sweet. And when adding this, we're going to have some different effects with the cookies that we'll be making because it doesn't have the same properties as sugar. The cookies will likely not be as brown just because there's no chance for anything to caramelize. There is a chance that they will be drier, so the cooking time that will have to that it'll take will have to be altered, so we might have to go less time. And then since there's a chance they could be drier, they could also be crispier and just not as soft in general. So it's 2 tablespoons of stevia mixed in there. And then again, we have just 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we'll be mixing this up. Okay, so we have our wet that has been mixed. Now we're gonna go back to our dry ingredients, and these will be kind of exactly the same. So we're gonna go 3/4 cup of oats mixed in. Again, 6 tablespoons of flour mixed into it. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of salt that's in here again. And then just a 1/4 cup of chocolate chunks again mixed into it. And then we will mix these together. So we have our mixture done, and ideally kind of the same premise as we did last time. So we'll just take a spoon, kind of take a spoonful amount, and I'll just drop it in my hand. And again, I'm just going to kind of make a small ball, and then I have it on a silicone sheet on a baking tray. And we'll just kind of flatten that down a bit into a shape. The texture, I can already notice it is a little bit different. It doesn't feel as moist, so there is a chance that these will be drier just because we threw stevia in instead of sugar. So I'm going to cook them at the same temperature of 350 Fahrenheit, but I'll just have to keep an eye on it just to notice if they're looking like they're drying out faster in the oven. Alright, so now we have the final product of the 2 different batches. This one is the one that was made with stevia, and then this one over here was the one that was made with sugar. And just off the hop, like, we can notice that there is a complete physical difference as to terms how they came out. The one with sugar, I made the balls roughly the same size, but the one with sugar flattened down quite a bit, whereas the one with stevia kind of held up its shape a little bit more, and it stayed a bit fatter. It didn't quite get as wide or as flat. As far as texture goes, the one with stevia is a little bit stiffer, but it actually has a little bit of give to it, so it kind of feels like pushing down on a sponge. Whereas if I hold the one with sugar, you can see it kind of wants to bend and mold to like my hands. And if I go to break them apart, the one with sugar just kind of gently falls apart, whereas if I go to the one with stevia, I kind of have to give it a little bit more pull to get it. And then texture wise, on the inside there you can see a little bit of a difference between it. This kind of has a more of a sponge-like texture. This not necessarily as much, but it's still kind of airy. but this definitely feels a bit stiffer than this one. And then before I did this, I tasted both of them. Could notice a difference in terms of sweetness. The one with stevia wasn't as sweet as the one with sugar, but and there was actually a bit of a distinct aftertaste once I finished eating the one with stevia, whereas the one with sugar just kind of any normal oatmeal cookie. It was sweet. They both were sweet. It's just the one with stevia, just texture-wise and taste-wise, there was a noticeable difference. And after I was finished eating, there was like a bit of that distinct aftertaste that comes with sweeteners when using it as a substitute.